We can do that. I think that,
back for you.
So help that out. So, I think that's what we want to. This is the direction.
so we're
we wanna
talking
take
one
this.
RFP.
Right now, I think so. So I certainly want to, coordinate that with how we want to do it. Because again, because the one who's going to be doing it, the actual cost estimating on that was going to be either the, in the context we've been talking about was the construction manager or the GC. So figuring out who we want to get on to actually do it to get that cost estimate.
But aren't we talking about the G's? The construction manager and the ownership being the same person? They would be doing the estimate. Is that right?
Again, there's a lot of different ways to structure
Right.
this.
Yeah,
The way we've seen it on other projects of this size and this type in the past has been you hire a CM on board, that's a construction manager who's got all the subcontractors underneath them. So when they go out to get their budgets, before they bid anything, they're going to those same subcontractors to get that pricing. So that pricing is much closer than what you're gonna get from someone who's separated from the project. And then when this project goes out to bid, they're bidding it in packages. They're managing all of the timing and how that. And that's one way to do it. The way you're talking about is a little different. And so that would be, something where you're hiring a contractor to be to budget the project, but they're not gonna build it. They're not gonna, have the subcontractors under them. You would then have all of those separate contracts with subcontractors in that situation, or you would hire a GC. We would bid the project. Ray would. So those are different scenarios.
So you were describing CM at risk.
Right.
CM at risk is when your construction manager gives you accurate budgeting because the anticipation is they will also be the ones building.
And they'll provide a GMP that they have to stick to throughout the project. So that
Whereas-
final cost, they're saying it won't go over that, right?
Whereas
But in
a
that
CM
scenario, any cost savings goes to the contract manager.
That's true.
And in a $40 million project, I think our city officials would want that cost savings to go to the city.
But how's this gonna be bid? Is it gonna, are we gonna have bids, and ask for a general contract to come in and then hold their feet to the fire that this is what it's gonna be? I mean, there's change orders, I get it, but then the construction manager / owner's rep would review the change orders and either give it a blessing or turn it down and say, you eat it. But I mean, how are we gonna bid it? We're gonna bid it out in pieces for,
If
Or
we
we-
bid it, we will not be bidding in pieces, right? Like, that's not what we, as a professional entity do. We would be bidding it out. We would put the drawings out to several plan houses and then the general contractor would bid on it. You guys would pick, I think you have to go with the lowest, qualified person, and then that's who would be your general contractor.
and then they've gotta
But
perform.
they would not have been involved with the budgeting of.
I get that.
So
Yep.
hopefully.
You're
whoever
gonna
is
help
doing
with the
that
budgeting part, right?
We can.
Well, I
That
can't
was not
remember what
we
the
had
contract
discussed. We can.
I can't remember what the contract was.
yeah, I think what we looked at, I mean, in terms of kind of the preliminary, but I think the only intention was always to try to get. Someone who would be building the building, would be providing more specific construction ready estimate.
So does Bray offer those, I don't want to say offer construction manager services, but as architects and designers, do you also do that, assist with bidding and then managing, serving as owner's rep?
So the role of an architect is always delivery, right? We're always looking out for you. That's what we do. We're designing this building for you. We're making sure that the contractor's following our drawings that you and we
Right.
put together. We're looking at their change orders and making sure they're not gouging you. That's something that we're always. An owner's rep would be another layer of that, right? So you're
Do you
adding,
guys provide that service?
I mean, that is our service, right? That's the difficulty with that owner's rep versus, architects are already doing that, right? You're getting someone who's gonna sit with you at the table as an owner and make decisions with you between us and the contractor, right? So it's another level of security. You're able to talk to them more often. They're probably in different meetings that not with us or the contractor, so you're able to communicate with them separately. They are offering similar services.
So my example is we hire, from a public works perspective, we hire an engineer to serve as designer. Once we move through design phase, we then hire them to perform construction administration, in essence, owner's rep. The project goes out to bid, general contractors hired. They are now serving as our owner's rep, the center of that hourglass. Has that been what Bray does?
Yeah, that will happen either way.
So then do we even need to do an RFP for an owner's rep when is it already in your scope? Is it in there?
We
So-
do full construction services, because we have to make sure they're building to plan and spec, that they're, you know, following code. I mean, all of that, we have to be watching the entire time.
So it sounds like we can eliminate a process because Bray already has it under their contract.
But what we're not able to do is sign change orders and things like that.
No, we would sign the change orders, you would review the change orders and make recommendations to us. You do that already.
We do that already. Yes.
So you'll provide specifications, you'll provide plans. Those will go out to general contractors and they will bid on it, and then we'll get those back. You will help review those bids to make sure that they're following everything, and then we choose a contractor to do the deal. And then how often were you to be on site and to review? I can't remember the contract it was in.
2 weeks.
I don't know what's in our actual, I don't know if you even finalized
I'd
that.
have to look it up.
I mean, typically OAC meetings,
Good
owner,
question.
architect, contractor meetings, what
What
happens
would we
once
be
a year
missing?
during construction.
On-site observation, right? And is that in the contract?
An on-site is basically, depending on where you're at, the phase of the project is.
Right.
Once a month,
Mhm.
probably, I'll even think to start out with, it might be once a month. And then it might come down to every couple of weeks. I know a lot of them, you'll just have a Zoom meeting or whatever. For superintendent, project manager. And Bray.
That's the OAC meetings. So the
Okay.
owner, the superintendent, Bray.
Is
That would be
basically,
usually
that's
once
a
a week.
weekly, that's a weekly meeting.
Typically, it's-
And then an on-site meeting should be basically every month, 2 weeks to a
No, the
month.
on-site meeting would be typically weekly. So we'll be in.
No,
a
that's the meeting on-site to walk the project.
Yes, and we would do that before the meeting or after that meeting every week.
So it'd
Take
either be
pictures,
weekly,
document what's happening.
it'd either be weekly or bi-weekly progress meetings. Anything underground, you would need daily observation.
Yeah, that we wouldn't.
Right.
do.
Back to change orders, you would fight on the city's behalf? You would
Yes,
argue the
absolutely.
case?
Absolutely.
I think maybe to look at the agreement with Bray again to make sure we're all clear as to what.
Yeah,
Because I agree with you, we may not need that position.
if it's already there,
If It's already there.
Well, maybe you could forward the,
or
send them,
you just
please send them.
just beef up a section if needed.
Right, right.
You're still gonna save
Some of
money.
those like underground, it might be
Yeah.
at an hourly cost or
Yeah.
whatever. If you need somebody out for an hourly, and you may even subcontract somebody.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but everybody's in agreement then so much.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth having that in that conversation. And all that.
So we just saved money already. There you
There's
go.
a lot of ways to
I mean,
structure these.
Value engineering.
Neil will send you the committee that are in contract with Bray.
Yeah.
So everybody's on the same page. But yeah, this is something, like I said, we've gone round and round about
Yeah, I mean,
exactly what these titles mean, what their role is, you know,
Yeah,
it's helpful. This
I mean, it is,
discussion.
there's, there's certainly a certain amount of assumption in terms of, obviously, the relationship between the city, the architect and the contractor in terms of, who's doing what, and if it's, if from my standpoint, it's always a situation, if something's percentage based on a cost estimate. In terms of, what's the motivating factor to get that cost down if it's a percentage
Right.
of the contract. So I mean, just making sure, but again, if there's a comfort level in terms of efficiency and we think that's the best way to go, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that would certainly is doable, absolutely. Okay. You have any other questions or thoughts on that?
As it relates to that reporting structure. The possibility of just joint meetings, like if it does have to go to that right side, like this body and facilities and public works could meet together.
That's true.
Yeah,
That doesn't
and
have to be
absolutely.
three
Yeah,
separate
good
meetings,
point.
like if we do have to go that angle, like
I like that, Alder, and that'd be,
half the people in those three groups are already here.
should be some overlap, right? No, I think that's, again, it's
It's
certainly.
one,
making sure-
2, 3, 4, like there's 4 of us right now.
Yeah,
so.
it's meeting the technical aspects of, the expertise we certainly like in this group that we want to make sure and have in the room. And then also making sure that we keep our city attorney happy in terms of the right body, improving things and moving things forward to
And
council.
Facilities
So,
has some expertise. too.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think that's a great point, Alder. Well, it's like, if my chairs are willing to do that and consider that, absolutely, we'll put that on the table. I think that's a great idea. So,
Well, they're overlapping.
Hmm?
They're overlapping. so
Right, yeah,
They'll make it simple.
absolutely.
I was even smarter than I knew. so.
See, there you go.
And that's all I have in there, so
Okay.
I'm good there, so.
All right, so next meeting to be determined.
Yeah, I would say we'll be searching, probably, we'll be reaching out and checking dates again here, in a couple weeks, so.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank everyone for coming today.
Very excited. I know these guys are excited.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
So is there a motion to adjourn?
Move adjournment.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
I.
Thanks, everybody.
That's
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week.
Exciting thought.